The incident that strikes at the heart of Britain's defence, the public debate about protests, the limits of dissent in a time of heightened international tension, all of this is raised by the protest at Brize Norton. On June the 20th, two activists broke into the RAF station, the airport, the UK's largest Air Force base, and vandalised military aircraft. The act, claimed by the group Palestine Action, has led to arrests under terrorism legislation, a proposed ban on the group, and fierce political debate. RAF Brize Norton in Oxfordshire is the main hub for Britain's strategic air transport and air-to-air refuelling, critical for operations to places such as RAF Akrantiri in Cyprus. And in the early hours of June the 20th, activists breached the base's security perimeter, reportedly using electric scooters to approach two Airbus Voyager refuelling aircraft. Using repurposed fire extinguishers, they sprayed red paint into the engines and inflicted further damage with crowbars. Palestine Action swiftly posted footage online showing one activist riding up on a jet engine and spraying it, and they claimed that they had put two tankers out of service and said this was direct action to protest at the UK military support for Israel's war in Gaza. In response, Southeast Counter-Terrorism Policing arrested 4 people on June the 26th, yesterday. 3, a 29-year-old woman of no fixed abode, 2 men aged 36 and 24 from London were arrested under suspicion of the commission, preparation or instigation of acts of terrorism under Section 41 of the Terrorism Act 2000, and a 4th, a 41-year-old woman, was arrested on suspicion of assisting an offender. These are severe charges. Under UK law, the preparation of terrorist acts carry a life sentence. All 4 suspects remain in custody with investigations ongoing. The reaction has been swift and polarised. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer condemned the break-in as a disgraceful act of vandalism and ordered a security review of all military bases. The Defence Secretary John Healey described himself as disturbed by the breach and acknowledged that the security measures at the massive base were insufficient to guarantee complete protection. The Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, went further. She announced that Palestine Action would be prescribed as a terrorist organisation under the Terrorism Act 2000. This will make it illegal to be a member or to support the group, with a maximum penalty of 14 years in prison. Cooper described Palestine Action as an extremist criminal group with a history of damaging UK defence infrastructure, referencing prior attacks on factories and facilities that manufacture military equipment for Israel. Palestine Action, for its part, rejected the terrorism label. They called the arrests a political gesture designed to suppress non-violent protest that disrupts Britain's armed trade with Israel. They argue their action was symbolic, red paint representing Palestinian blood, and claim the government's harsh response is meant to protect weapons companies and silent dissent about Israel's war in Gaza. Human rights organisations, including Amnesty International and Liberty, have warned that prescribing a direct action protest group risks criminalising legitimate dissent and infringing freedom of expression and assembly. Amnesty criticised what it sees as the UK's overly broad definition of terrorism that could be used to stifle political protest. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Defence has confirmed that the incident damaged 2 aircraft, but insists it did not interrupt operations. Nevertheless, a wider security review has been launched across all UK military bases, acknowledging vulnerabilities despite extensive fences, cameras, sensors and patrols. This episode raises difficult questions. How should the state balance national security with the right to protest? Where does vandalism end and terrorism begin? And who bears responsibility for the escalation of protest tactics in an age of global conflict and polarised debate? The incident at Brize Norton is no minor local trespass. It has triggered arrests on terrorism charges, a move to outlaw an entire protest group, and an urgent debate about the health of democracy itself. In closing, what happens at RAF Brize Norton is a test of Britain's security, its legal system, and its tolerance of protest. The government is clear. Acts that target military infrastructure will not be tolerated. But critics warn that suppressing dissent with terror laws is a dangerous path. This is not simply a story about red paint on a jet engine. It's a story about the contested boundaries between protest, crime, and national security in an age of international violence.